Now children, let's begin the day with a small prayer which we used to say in the school. Join your hands. All for the greater honor and glory of God. Good morning children. Now, this is for Standard 1 EVS Chapter 3. I am just going to explain you about home, sweet home. Why do we call our home a sweet home? We call it a sweet home because whenever we go out, suppose for sightseeing also, if we go out for 10 days, for vacation, any kind of vacation, for summer or winter or puja vacation, or suppose if we go for shopping also, we are tired. But where do we find rest? When we come back to our house. So that is why we call it sweet home. A house is really very sweet. Where we come, we have a rest, we live together, we enjoy together with our families, and we have a good rest. So today I am going to teach you about two types of houses. Mainly there are two types of houses. One is Kacha House and the other one is Pakka House. So where do we see this Kacha House? And before that I would like to explain what is a Kacha House. Kacha House, normally it is a temporary house. After 2-3 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 7 years, what happens? We build a Kacha house, and then afterwards, if a strong wind comes, flood comes, then what happens? It falls down. It doesn't stay there. So, nowadays what happens? In the villages also you will see the people, they make Pakka houses. And before it was not that people staying in the villages, they used to make Pakka houses. No. They used to make Kacha houses. They used to work in the field. And then after working for the whole day, they have a rest at home. But nowadays you will find many Pakka houses in the village. Now you have a look at this picture here. This is a picture of a Kacha house. Okay? And this Kacha house is a temporary house. It will not last long. As I have told you, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then it temporary house. So after, it doesn't last long, after 3, 4, 5 years, it falls down. Why? Because it is all made of mud, straw, bamboo, leaves, and even hay, and there are other things also. So whatever they get, and they try to make a small little hut for themselves, and they live in that hut. Okay? And at times it happens, when it rains badly, then of course it falls down. And suppose when the weather is also too bad, that time also it doesn't last long. It falls down. And then again the people, poor villagers, they have to make a small little house for themselves. So that is why I am telling you this is called a temporary house. So is that clear to you? Now we have a look over here. This is a Can you see the picture here? This is called a Pakka house. Okay? Most of the Pakka houses towns, and nowadays in the villages also, people are trying to make pakka houses, because each time if the house falls down and each time they have to rebuild that house, that is very difficult, and lot of money are also wasted. So nowadays, those who have money, they simply build a pakka houses. Okay. So in pakka houses, there are many types of houses. You got to see bungalows also over there. Multi-storied building. Now what is multi-storied building? Multi-storied building is actually flat. Big bungalows are there where you have a big lawn and more than 7 rooms are there. So that type of houses are called bungalows. Now let us try to understand what is this pakka house made of. Now what are the materials we are going to use when we have to make the pakka house? We use bricks. Bricks, do you understand? Means eeta. Stones. Stones means what? Gitti. Ordinary stones you cannot build a house. It has a particular stone. Then you use cement. Then we use steel. And then wood, of course, to make the doors and windows. You need to have a cupboard. You need to have a proper ventilation, windows, doors, everything. So you need to use wood also. So what are the things we need to make a pakka house is bricks, stones, cement, steel and wood. These basic things which are needed to make a pakka house. Okay. And pakka house is also called a permanent house. This one is a temporary one, the Kacha house. Can you see here? It is a temporary house. For certain years it will stay there, but afterward it is not going to exist. But this is the permanent house. It stays, it lasts quite long. So I hope you all have understood what are the materials needed for pakka house, what are the materials needed for Kacha house, what is called temporary house and what is called permanent house. Now, what I want to ask you that you are going to read the lesson carefully, learn all the difficult spelling of this chapter 3 and you need to draw. Please draw big as I have shown here on the board, and under that you have to write a Kacha house. Here also can you see this is a pakka house and I have written a pakka house and I have underlined it. Read the lesson nicely, children. And the question and answers I have already given in the worksheet. Try to answer properly. Be very careful with your handwriting and with your spellings, with the date. Okay? So thank you, children.